I'm Jane Satterfield. I'm an associate professor of writing at Loyola University of Maryland, and my new book is called Her Familiars. Her Familiars is about the culture of war and female experience. It's about the collision between domestic life and public life. I'm a mother, and so I grew up under the flight path of Andrews Air Force Base during the Cold War, and so many of the events that were taking place in recent years in terms of our wars in Afghanistan and Iraq were things that seemed very familiar to me. And looking at the way that my daughter was learning to see the world in all its beauty and also all its trouble and figure out ways to navigate the poles of hope and despair were very much behind the motivation for the book. In the book, there's a variety of lengths of poems. I have some long poems that deal with the origins of the United States in its colony form, to look at the relationship between how we took over essentially this land and how we enacted power relationships that have a serious impact on our governance today. There's poems about colony collapse disorder, as well as the origins of the Roanoke colony, where the colonists went missing, and it's an unexplained mystery in American history. We also have poems about the experience of war by those who fight it, by those who determine what is and isn't torture. And there's also poems about everyday life, a Girl Scout trip to the FBI of all places when I was a child. I used to watch Cartoon Network with my daughter, and I have a poem about the grim adventures of Billy and Mandy, where the Grim Reaper is stuck in the suburbs and is dealing with two devious little children who torment him. So it ranges from pop culture to history to literary examinations of women's lives. A familiar is the actual definition of familiar from the OED mentions that it pertains to family life, private, domestic, a member of a person's family or household. Interesting to me was to learn that it also refers to an officer of the Inquisition who was chiefly employed in arresting and imprisoning the accused. But it could also be a familiar spirit, a demon, or an evil spirit supposed to attend at a call. So I hope that I'm looking at things that are familiar to me, that have taught me something new about the world, and I hope to make the strange familiar and the familiar strange. I feel that to write well, there's always a social relevance to art. It begins with your personal experience, but it's a way of connecting with others, understanding the connections between people across time, and finding consolation in the world that is troubled, and also celebrating its beauties. This poem was inspired by a childhood visit to the FBI during the year that Saigon fell. Girl Scouts visit the FBI. Lights fade on the snow-erased suburban street as our screen flickers with roadside bombs and body count. News is another stalled front, a season past its prime. The house rattles with gale force winds, and Doppler radar promises more. In this late hour, Wisdom's and X-Files rerun, Tempranillo catching candle shine in a glass. The flame leaps, a little spark, a little shudder, a little rising action in headquarters where Scully calls Mulder, whispers, "Is it wise?" But I'm drifting back to the Hoover Building, my own inside shot to honeycombed walls, road desks, and ringing phones. What badge were we after? Riding the Yellowbird bus down Pennsylvania Avenue, a troop of girls kitted out in jumpers, cable knee socks, and small green berets. What badge were we after? What wisdom? Citizenship? Government? We lived on old tobacco land, blissful on suburban streets, tree-lined glens and ways. Choppers stuttered over Saigon. In a year where cookie sales earned record profit, we walked through security, scanned the 10 most wanted wall. Mulder knows the truth is out there. Scully, good Girl Scout, questions every clue. She knows how far the smart girl gets. Badge and suit, official blessing, unwitting agent of someone else's grand, undisclosed plan. Cut to Mulder on the shooting range. What or who emerges next? Bullets, a steady sequence of shots. The human-sized target bends and spins, faceless with a red spotted heart. Same spin, same din as I remember it.